Okay, so I want to spend this time talking about a group of reactions known as combustion reactions. So let me go to the pen function here, choose the right color. Okay, so let's talk about combustion reactions. Combustion reactions. Now, these type of reactions involves reacting a substance in air, right? And typically the reaction involves burning. So whenever you see the term combustion, it basically means burning a substance in air. And the substance in air that the substance will be reacting with is oxygen. So let me just put oxygen in parentheses here, right? Now, whenever you're reacting nonmetals or burning nonmetals in air, the reaction would be a combustion reaction. All right, and the nonmetal will, or the metal or nonmetal will form an oxide. So just to give you a few examples, a couple of which we might have met before: sodium reacting with oxygen to form sodium oxide. All right, and of course to balance this, we're going to need a 2 here and a 4 here. All right, carbon reacting with oxygen to form carbon dioxide is another example. So these are two examples of combustion reactions where an element is reacting with oxygen from the atmosphere. So in both cases, you have the formation of oxides resulting. Now, there are some situations where you can have the combustion of other substances, and the type of substances we're going to talk about are two types. Mainly organic. Let me just put organic substances. I'm sorry about this. Organic substances. Now, when we talk about organic substances, we're talking about basically carbon based substances, right? And the type of substances that we're going to focus our discussion on are substances which contains carbon and hydrogen only. These are called hydrocarbons. And then we have compounds containing carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. All right. The thing about these compounds is that when they undergo combustion, they produce two products. So let me kind of abbreviate it here. So if you start off with a compound containing carbon and hydrogen only, I'm just going to use that to represent the hydrocarbon. Or if your compound contains carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, then in both cases, when they are burnt in air, to, in other words, when it reacts with oxygen, and if the reaction is complete, then the products will always be CO2 gas and H2O liquid. All right, so when it comes to these kinds of compounds, these will be the products always. All right, so basically, if you're given any hydrocarbon, let's say for example methane, CH4, and you're asked to write down the equation for the combustion of methane, it's very simple. You know that the other reactant is oxygen, and you know that the products will always be carbon dioxide gas and H2O liquid. All right? And the only thing that's left for you to do from here is to balance it. And to balance this equation, we're going to need a 2 here and a 2 here, and that's it. All right? Let me do another example. Let's say you're given glucose, C6H12O6, and you are asked to write down the combustion reaction for glucose. So again, the reactant is O2, and the products will be CO2 and H2O as always. H2O gas, CO2 liquid, oxygen is going to be a gas, and glucose is a solid. So to balance this, we need a 6 here to balance with the 6 carbons here. We're going to need a 6 here as well to balance with the 12 hydrogens here. And to balance oxygens, you have a total of 12 plus 6. That's 18. You have 6 here already, so therefore you're going to need 6 here to give a grand total of 18 on the reactant side. So basically, that's pretty much all you need to know concerning combustion. Just to recap, combustion is where the substance that is undergoing the combustion is reacting with oxygen. Usually heat is required. If you are combusting elements such as sodium or carbon or any other element, the reaction will always result in the formation of an oxide. But if you're combusting hydrocarbons or compounds containing carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, then the products will be CO2 and H2O. All right? So in those cases, it's very easy to write down the unbalanced equation, and therefore all you have to do from there is to balance it. Okay, so that officially represents the end of chapter 7. All right, so next video we'll be dealing with chapter 8. So until next time.